but look at this guy. Look at this guy trying to run me over. Wow. This guy put his whole truck on my face. Look at that. The dangers of filming and photographing in small towns. This is a video that everybody should watch if you're a travel blogger, if you are a First Amendment auditor, if you're a photographer, a history enthusiast, a traveler. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com. If at any point in time you like the video, smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and please leave a comment. So, ExploringKentucky.com aims to cover all 120 counties of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. It's part of the Sight Sounds Flavors channel. It's part of sightsoundsflavors.com. And so I was in Glencoe, Kentucky, which is part of Gallatin County, on Saturday morning, May the 11th. I had a bodybuilding show that I was going to for Strength Addicts, which is my other channel. It is a fitness channel. And I decided I was going to cover a few towns. I ended up covering Glencoe, Corinth, a couple others. And I started out with Glencoe. So what did I do? I did a little drive through Main Street, and I noticed that they had a store, a post office. They had, when I say a store, they had a country store, okay? They had some other like little businesses. They had a post office. They had a fire department. On a side street, they had a church. So I did like a little bit of, surveying to see, because once you're walking, you want to know where you're going in a small town, because it may be laid out differently. Every town is different. So I did that. I parked my vehicle at City Hall, and I made sure I wasn't blocking anything. Obviously, it was a Saturday morning, so the offices were probably closed, but I made sure I wasn't blocking anything. And I started filming. And I always do it on the public right of way. And I started with City Hall, and I showed the fire department, and I walked down the street, and I showed the post office, went in the post office, which I'm allowed to do because I'm doing news gathering, and it's also educational and cultural, I walked in there, I showed the little lobby, left there, then I showed the general store, very beautiful, which is on the other side of the railroad tracks. And as I'm walking back, a man in a pickup truck nearly runs me over, going into a business. But I was on the public right of way. Pedestrians have the right of way, especially pedestrians with a camera. This guy, I noticed, and he literally tried to hit me with his truck. And then justified it because he said, if I hadn't have been staying there, I wouldn't have been hit. Well, I'm a pedestrian on a sidewalk. You are a motorist on a road. If you're going to go into a business and you've got to go over the sidewalk where there's a pedestrian walking, you wait. You don't try to hit the pedestrian. And he wasn't, unfortunately, distracted. He was trying to scare me with his truck because I'm an outsider and I've got a camera, and he thinks that's weird. So he thinks it's okay for him to use his truck, his massive pickup truck. Okay. It probably was like a F-250 or something with an extended cab. He probably thinks it's okay for him to menace me with his truck, to scare me, so that hopefully I will never come back to Glencoe, Kentucky. And this happens. And so, again, for the minute after, I'm shaking. My camera, my hand's shaking. And I'm trying to tell myself, relax. Because remember, when you're filming, it isn't just about you regaining your composure, but you've got a camera you're holding. You don't know if the guy that almost hit you with a pickup truck is going to pull out a 12 gauge or something, or if they're going to call the cops on you and on some nonsense, made up nonsense, or if, you just don't know. Because again, you're in the middle of nowhere, essentially, because you don't know anybody in Glencoe or Timbuktu. It's Saturday morning. There's no local police department. There's two cars that you've seen in the last 20 minutes. And you're there. And I told him, I said, not that it's any of your business, because it wasn't. And usually I'm not rude, but if somebody tries to hit me with a pickup truck, I'm not going to be extra nice. And I said, not that it's any of your business, but I'm recording for ExploringKentucky.com. Now, First Amendment auditors, they don't do that. Emma Ganson Press, Nasty Nathaniel, because it goes against what they're doing. but they're not going to say, hey, I'm from this website, this is who I am. If he had gone to exploringkentucky.com, he'd have seen my name. If he'd have Googled my name in Kentucky, he'd have seen I was a licensed attorney out of Louisville, Kentucky. He would have seen that I was on the up and up, but he didn't care about all that. You know, he saw something out of place, and that's how he addressed it. And for the next minute or so, my camera was shaking. But I never stopped recording, and you never stop recording. And it's a lesson that we learned from First Amendment auditors. You never stop recording. Because if they call the cops on you, or if something bad happened, or if something bad happened to you, there's a recording. Now, granted, they could come and take your camera away, but you know, the idea is it won't get to that point, and you always record, because that video, that content is basically what's going to defend you from the lies that others may tell. But you got to be so careful, because a lot of times people say, well, you got to be real careful when you're filming in big cities, crowded places, you know what I mean, different countries. But you also have to be very, very prudent and aware of your surroundings, and, you know, very resilient in small towns where you may not be around a lot of people. There may not be a police department. And if there is, maybe it closes at 5 and you happen to be there at 5:30. You know, it's dangerous. But again, we love what we do. I love what I do, you know, and unfortunately, Glencoe is a beautiful city, but now my Glencoe video, anytime somebody watches that Glencoe video, they're going to watch that elderly man. He's not that elderly. He's about 60, maybe 65. He's like a younger elderly guy. Try to ram me down with a pickup truck, you know, and sad, because, you know, my videos are intended to show the positive and show the beauty and show the history and show, you know, the wonderful place to raise a family in these communities. But, you know, I'm not going to, you know, remove, see, with sight, sounds, flavors, excuse me, I bit my tongue. With sight, sounds, flavors, the whole point is that you see what I see, you hear what I hear, you taste what I taste. You know, I try to give you the best possible description of what I'm eating or what I'm drinking. That's why it's called sights, sounds, flavors.com, or sights, sounds, and flavors.com. I own both. You'll be fine with either one. And so I can't remove a local trying to ram me down with a pickup truck, because that's very much a sight, you know what I mean, and a little bit of a sound. And I can't do that. It would remove the authenticity of the video, and I cannot do that. I will not do that. So unfortunately, you know, and the thing is, this video may get 300, 500, 1,000 views. And in a year from now, it may have 5,000 views. For a small town of 260 people, that's a pretty big deal. And unfortunately, this beautiful community, it was immaculate, you know, landscape, the roads were very good, no big old potholes anywhere, no graffiti, no questionable characters, you know, everybody took pride in their community. Unfortunately, the folks of Glencoe, Kentucky have so much to offer, but in their video for exploringkentucky.com, sightsoundsflavors.com, we'll see one of their own trying to run down someone with a camera walking up and down the sidewalk for all of 9 minutes. 9 minutes. That's as long as I was in Glencoe filming. 9 minutes. You know, is it a good place to live? I don't know. I thought it was. It looked like it was. But that guy that, you know, pulled into the laundromat / whatever store that is out of his mind. And he's free to try to bring this video down or to bring me to court. Hey, man, I didn't go to school to be a plumber. I'm a lawyer. Bring it. And you're lucky I didn't bring charges against you. Because you darn right you almost hit me with your truck. You would have caused me a lot of damage if that would have happened. You might have actually unlifed me. If you think about that, what does that mean, unlifed me? You hit me with that truck, I fall back, I hit my head, I don't wake up. That's a problem. You are out of your mind. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people like that are out of their mind. He wasn't drunk, he wasn't high, he was just an asshole.